going into the military or going into the workforce. Just real quick, I just want to share 2 dates with you that are probably the most pressing things that you want to know about tonight, and you'll get more detailed information. But our graduation dates, our mid-year graduation will take place on Tuesday, January the 18th, and our tentative time is 6 p.m. And our traditional spring graduation will be held on Monday, June the 13th at 4 p.m. Those are some dates that you're going to want to make sure you put in your calendar. The June graduation will be held this year at the Raleigh Convention Center. So those are some things that I just wanted to make sure that you had on your calendar at this time. I am looking forward to this presentation, and I, like Mr. Green, am excited that we do have our students in the building. And at this point, I want to turn it over to Ms. Saldana. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Ms. Saldana. I'm one of the counselors in Student Services, and I have students with the last name CO through GO, and then any student who's had an ESL class in high school. And I would like to start this off by having everybody take a deep breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out, because we know that this is an anxious time, and that students can be anxious, parents can be anxious about the college process and kind of making post-secondary plans. But I want to reassure you that we are here to help you. We have probably 100 years combined of experience here on the Student Services Hallway, and we are here to help you through the process. And not only is this sort of a difficult process in a typical year, but then we add the additional layer of the pandemic with COVID-19. And I love what Mr. Solomon said, that this has taught us all to be adaptable and resilient. And I think those are excellent qualities that we're all exercising in these difficult times. And just be aware that colleges know that COVID-19 has impacted us and impacted you in your high school career. And they're going to take that into account as they evaluate applications and realize that certain opportunities weren't available in the way that they are in typical years. Some ways that colleges have responded include the fact that the UNC system schools, all 16 UNC system colleges, are what's called test optional this year, because they have recognized that there have been limited opportunities to take the SAT and ACT tests. So students are not required to submit standardized test scores as part of the college admissions process. If they have scores that they like, they can submit them, but they're not required to. And also in the common application and coalition application, which are 2 major applications that Ms. Rogers will tell you a little bit more about later, they've included an optional essay question that allows students to elaborate further if there's a particular way that COVID has impacted their life that they think that the admissions committee wants to know. So those are just 2 examples. And if you look at college websites, they really are committed to taking all of the whole situation into account. Okay, next slide. So we're going to dive right in here. We are going to refer throughout this presentation to the Senior Planning Guide, which you can see the link listed there at the bottom, the bit.ly link, which you won't be able to click on since it's a live stream, but you can write that down or type it in. And throughout the presentation, there will be page numbers at the bottom of many of the slides that refer you to the page of the Senior Planning Guide that we're talking about. Okay, next slide. Okay, on page 3 and over into page 4 of the Senior Planning Guide is information about transcripts. And this is going to be one of the most sort of pressing things and probably something we get the most questions about. So I'd like to start by saying that transcripts will not be official per Wake County guidelines. Transcripts are not official until the 20th day of school, which this year is September 20th. So that is the day, or that is the week that we will start sending out official transcripts to colleges, uploading them to the Common App. And that's the week also that the class rank and number of students in the senior class will be run for this year. So that's when we will have an official GPA and class rank for you all. So before that, transcripts are not official, so we won't be sending them to colleges until they are official and we have that information. So once transcripts are ready, there are several different ways that they would be sent, and it kind of depends on the vehicle that you are using to apply to college. So I'll start with the, actually on page 4, the third item talks about the common application. This is the primary vehicle that most of our students use to apply to college. So if you are using the common application to apply, there's a portion of the application called the school report that the counselor will fill out, and that includes the transcript. And so what you will do as the student is put in your counselor's information and invite the counselor to submit this information. And we will get an email that notifies us that you've invited us, and you will also show up in our common application list. And we will upload your transcript as part of the school report. And then if you add any additional colleges later down the line, it's already in the common application and colleges will be able to download that. Okay, because we won't be submitting transcripts till at that week of September 20th, just know that that request may sit for a while, but I don't think any of us mind getting those requests now, so that way we can attack that list as quickly as possible once we're able to submit the official transcripts that week. Okay, the next major vehicle for submitting transcripts is if you are applying using CFNC. So this would be if you're applying to Wake Tech. If you're applying to colleges during college application week, you want to take advantage of some of those fee waivers that are offered during college application week, you might be using cfnc.org. And you, if you don't already have a CFNC account, you can create a CFNC account, and you will follow these instructions listed on this transcript page to apply and submit a transcript through the application hub. For non-Common App, non-CFNC colleges that are out of state, there's another website called Scrib Order where you would need to submit a transcript request, and that will trigger our registrar to assist you with that request to send a transcript that way. So we know this is complicated. It's all in the senior planning guide. It's also on the student services website, so we really encourage you to refer to that when sending transcripts. Okay, so now that I've covered some nuts and bolts, I'm going to pass it on to Ms. Rogers, and the next slide.
Good evening. My name is Vanta Rogers, and I work with students last name OS through SL. So each senior will meet with their counselor starting next week. In the conference, we will discuss graduation requirements. We'll talk about credits, testing, how to apply to college, and address any questions that the students may have. Seniors will schedule their conference with us through the Sign Up Genius, okay? Dr. Huber, would you please show the students where they can find that link? Okay, so you see where it says book your senior conference? So you're gonna hit that. And then you'll get to see all of our names, and then you just pick your counselor to sign up for your conference. And our VA students, we did not forget about you. You will sign up for conference just like the in-person kids. We will send your transcript. There it is. You'll see it. And you just find your counselor's name, and then you schedule your appointment. VA kids, you will get your transcript and other information via email from us once you schedule your appointment. Slide 2, Dr. Huber. Okay, how do you apply? Miss Sadana, she went through all of that. So you can apply for college through CFNC, the Common App, and that's really where a lot of our kids apply. That's like a one-stop shop. You can list all the schools that are part of the Common App to make sure that you fill out your information doing that Common App. And we'll talk about that when you sit down and talk to us. The Coalition App, and then a lot of people just directly go through the college website to apply to college. So those are ways how you apply to college, and we'll go into depth with that when you sit down with us one-on-one starting next week. Now I'm going to pass it to Ms. Feeney.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sabra Feeney, and I'm the counselor for students with the last names L through OR. Tonight, I wanted to mention to you some terms that you are going to hear from your student. Some of you may be familiar with these. Some of you, this is going to be the first time that you've heard of some of these terms. But our first is rolling admission. And that means that a student's application will be evaluated by that university as soon as it comes in and is considered complete. And it's considered complete when they have the application, the transcript, test scores, whatever they're asking for their application process. Once it is considered complete, they will review the student's application and render a decision. So they're not operating on any sort of set deadlines. It's just as you apply and everything is complete, they will notify you of the admission decision. The next one is early action, oftentimes referred to as EA. Early action basically just means if you apply early, you're going to be notified early. So if you are looking at October and November, oftentimes you will get decisions back prior to Christmas break. Early action is non-binding. You are not limited to the number of schools that you can apply to under early action. It's just a way for some students who want to know their decision earlier. Early decision, however, is a binding agreement that you are entering into with that particular college or university. You are applying prior to their regular deadlines, and you are saying, if admitted, I'm coming to this school. So oftentimes some students will do this if that is their first choice school, that's the only place that they want to be in. You are saying that if I'm admitted and offered a financial aid package, I will come to your university. We have to sign off on that. So we want to make sure that students and parents are fully aware of what that decision means. So when our students are applying in Common App, if we've already met with them, we are going to circle back to make sure that everybody is on board with what the early decision agreement means. Early action, there is no action on our part. Again, if the student is just applying early, you're going to be notified early. Another important thing that I wanted to mention to families and students is about the application deadlines. And the application is considered complete when the student has submitted their application. The student's part must meet that application deadline. Your counseling team, your recommenders, we can get transcripts. Oftentimes we have a different deadline that you may not be aware of. And often that can be up to 3 weeks beyond what the application deadline is. That is for the universities just to say, hey, I'm cutting off accepting applications on this particular date. So please do not panic. Please do not get anxious when you start getting those automated emails from the colleges and universities, because the minute they receive your application, you will start getting inundated with this is missing, or your transcript is missing, or a recommendation might be missing. Those are the things that can still trickle in. Sometimes your transcript has been already uploaded into Common App or Coalition, but maybe the university just hasn't downloaded it yet. So please be mindful of those emails are often auto-generated, not that somebody sat down and looked through every little piece, that it just automatically triggered that response from the school once they received your application. So we're working on it. We each have almost 100 students, so we're getting the stuff out as fast as we can, but we do have a slightly different deadline that we work under than the student's application. Next slide. North Carolina Residency Determination, often referred to as RDS. This is something that every family, student and family will complete if you're applying to a North Carolina public or private institution. You can either do this through Common App. It will be embedded in the North Carolina applications, you can go directly to CFNC if you would rather do it there, and then just enter in your RDS number is what this particular platform will generate. And what it is, the purpose that it serves is making sure that you are eligible for in-state tuition. The state wants to know that you are, that you've lived here. They want to know how long that you've lived here, maybe if you've moved, what addresses you've had. So parents, this is something that you will need to assist your students with based on some of the questions, but it is pretty simple. Once you go through a layer of questions and it's satisfied with the responses, it will generate that number, and that is what you will enter in your Common App or Coalition or in CFNC, depending on what platform that you are applying to. But every student applying to any school in North Carolina, public, private, or any of the community colleges will have to have an RDS number. But it's a really simple little process. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help you through that process. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Albanese.
Good evening. I'm Nadera Albanese, and I'm the A through CL counselor, and I'm going to talk about sending test scores and recommendations to colleges. This information can also be viewed on page 4 in the planning guide. As Ms. Saldana mentioned earlier, the good news is that more than half of the U.S. undergraduate institutions are remaining test optional for the second year. This includes our own UNC system colleges. So if your student needs to send an official score, please make sure that they go to the actual testing website to request their scores. The high schools will not be sending official scores. So colleges will only accept those from the College Board, collegeboard.org for SATs, or for the actstudent.org website for the ACTs. For our student athletes who want to be considered for playing sports in colleges, they will need to create an account on the National Collegiate Athletic Association website, otherwise known as NCAA. And they will need to create this account and get a PIN number. That PIN number will need to be sent to Mr. Green. They can simply email that to Mr. Green so he can upload the transcript. They will also need to go to the wcpss.scriborder.com website to order the transcript, as we mentioned earlier as well. For students who would like to send transcripts, like an unofficial or even official transcript to their coaches, for schools that they may be interested in, they will need to complete a release of information form that's found on our website. So to allow us to release the forms officially. But the easiest way, since students will be getting an unofficial copy of their transcripts when meeting with their counselors at the meetings, the easiest way would be just to have the students send it themselves unofficially. Most coaches will accept that. The next slide, please. The next slide refers to recommendations, community college information, and college visits. Now, not all colleges require recommendations. I think that's a misconception with a lot of our students. They assume that if they're applying to colleges, they need to get college recommendations right away. Please be aware of their schools and what they're asking for. If they do ask for a teacher recommendation, it's important that they ask permission from the teacher they're thinking about asking ahead of time before they link them in as a recommender, and also to give them 2 weeks at least to get the recommendation completed. Now, many colleges do require for counselor statements. Now, counselor statements are kind of like mini recommendations. And we do like to write those after we meet with our students and get to know our students a little bit better and what they've accomplished in the past 4 years at our meetings. Another way is to have the senior complete the senior profile, which is on this slide at this Google Doc. So we encourage you to encourage your seniors to complete this before the meeting with us, so that we can have this information and write a better recommendation for them, or write a better counselor statement. And they can also give this information to their recommenders. Next, I'm going to talk about community college because we often talk about preparing students for four-year colleges, but we can't forget that community college is a great option for many of our students. Over 175 of our seniors last summer applied or actually enrolled in a community college. It can offer more convenience, flexibility, four-year college transfer agreements, and it can save students and parents a lot of money. So the easiest way to apply to the community college is by going, if it's in North Carolina, is to go to the CFNC website where they can find that application hub and also the transcript hub to send the application and the transcript at the same time. It's very easy to do. Counselors can also help with students through this process as we're meeting with students. If students are applying out of state schools, of course, that would be a little different. So college visits, if students are not sure what schools they want to apply to, we would encourage them to make college visits or to attend some area virtual college fairs that are happening right now. There are several that are being scheduled for the semester in the area, and we already have those posted on our website. So take a look at that. We also have admissions counselors coming into our office who, in the hopes of meeting with students during their lunches. So we'll be scheduling those as well and posting that on our website. And also feel free to contact the schools that you're interested in and schedule a tour. Many colleges are offering in-person tours now, in-person visits, and then also virtual if you choose to do that as well. So we will be posting more information on this part of our website under colleges at the Student Services website throughout the semester and the year. Now I'm going to turn it over to our newest member of our team, Ms. O'Riordan.
Hi, I'm Katie O'Riordan, and I'm working with students with the last names GR through K. We're going to talk about how to pay for college tonight. And just briefly, with scholarships, we have a monthly scholarship bulletin that is posted in several places online. And Dr. Huber, if you can click on it, we'll show them the very first one of the year. That just gives you an idea. When we receive information, this will be compiled and shared. You can also check college websites. I think we talked a little bit earlier about how important deadlines are. With scholarships, some colleges have set, the deadlines for merit scholarships. So you want to make sure that you are getting everything in so you can be considered for those scholarships if that's what you're interested in. We do also encourage you to spend time looking at the scholarships you're applying for. Some of the large national scholarships, are only awarded to a small number of people. So you might do better, spending a little more time looking at some local scholarships rather than putting all your time into the really large ones. Dr. Huber, if you want to go to the next slide. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It's really important for you to apply for this, whether or not you think you'll qualify. And the first date that you can submit it is October 1st. And the whole reason with the timing is so that you receive your admissions letter about the same time as you receive your financial aid package, because money is part of that decision for most of us. Ms. Norwood is our financial aid counselor, and she will begin meeting with students in just a couple weeks. September 23rd is her first date, and you can start setting up appointments by calling Student Services, and we can set that up where students can stop by and schedule those. We'll also have a financial aid virtual event coming soon, probably next month, so make sure you stay tuned for that date. And just keep in mind that there are organizations in the community that offer free assistance with the FAFSA, and we do encourage you to use those free resources instead of paying for someone to help you with that. The State Employees Credit Union has programs with that, and cfnc.org as well. All right, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fletcher.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ms. Fletcher. I'm the academic support counselor here, so I don't have an alpha, but you would know if I was working with you for sure. I'm going to be talking about some different routes to take after high school. And so, of course, there are many And if you are thinking about going into the military or going straight into working, please reach out to our career development coordinator, Miss Canada. She is a great resource and can help you out with those next steps. If you're thinking about it, if you're certain about it, please reach out so that we can make sure you're squared away and in the best position for when you graduate. And of course, if that is your goal, we want to support you in that goal. And so you can reach her at gcanada@wcpss.net. It is on this slide. She is here in the school, so feel free to contact her and get started on that process. Next slide, please, Dr. Huber. And then we're going to talk about how to help your student. Of course, this is a big decision, whether it be they're going to college or going off to the military or going to work. All of it is a big decision because they are moving on from high school. And so I think the key word here is help. We of course want the students to be mainly involved with these decisions and coming up with these plans and setting their goals. But of course, it should be a collaborative thing because they're not leaving the nest yet. They're still your children, your babies. And so we definitely want parents to be involved with helping them. I think number one with setting a goal, that involves, talking to them and seeing what it is, what they want to do, where they're looking to go, and seeing what the best route for that is going to be. I know for myself and students that I've helped in the past, being organized is definitely a big help, especially when it comes to looking at deadlines, because I think the biggest fear is to miss a deadline, right? For any of those things, whether it be the application, for the scholarship application, for anything that needs to be turned in on time. We want to make sure that we're aware of those dates. So please try to get organized. I always recommend either a spreadsheet or, if you're like me, pen and paper. But putting it somewhere that you might be able to see at least once a day, that you can be checking and making sure that everything is being handled, whether that be letters of recommendation, whether that be supplemental documents for your application, just making sure that every single school that you are thinking about even applying to, or job or internship, or even in the military, just making sure that you are organized and decreasing that stress, which is the next point. Organizing and planning can always help decrease the stress level. And again, talk with your student. And if some of this might be far off for you, maybe you haven't been to college in a long time, or maybe you haven't started this process in a long time. And of course, there are first generation students where parents may not know the language and know what to do with the application process. So find an adult, find someone that you can trust and talk to, whether that be us here at the school or someone in the community. But make it a collaborative effort. And this can be a fun time. As serious as it is, it definitely can be fun to see our students moving on to the next level. So if y'all need help with any of that, of course, y'all can always reach out to us here at the school as well. And I am going to turn it over to Dr. Huber.
All right, so I am going to show you where to find some things on our website. So I am Jessica Huber. I am the SAP counselor and also the webmaster of our student services page and tweeter. And I will show you, I'm going to take you over to our Leesville website and show you where to find things. I noticed a bunch of you have already signed up for senior conferences, so you've already figured this out. So if you go to our website and you go to students and student services counselors, that will take you to the student services page. On there, we've got on the top of the page, the Book Your Senior Conference. I've also got this on many pages. Probably your best bet for starting things is to go to the courses and grade information and go to seniors. And then if you scroll down, you'll see it. We've already got the presentation slide up. So you got the link to it at the beginning of this presentation. But if you haven't written down that link, it's already here. So you can get the slides with all the clickable links and click on everything we've talked about today. It's also buried throughout this website too. So if you scroll down, you'll see a lot of things that we've talked about with all the links are all down there as well. So you can get an idea of where to find things. It talks about Common App, all the good stuff with COVID that we
we talked about with what colleges are considering, and test scores to college. All of that's on here too. Some other things on our website. If you look at the college tab, we have a SAT, ACT tab as well. College fairs and visits. I know Ms. Albany's talked about finding out where we're doing tours. That is a good page to go to. I'll just click on that real quick. There's a number of digital events that are going on upcoming in the next couple weeks too. So you can do some virtual fairs from home, which is convenient. Financial aid page, scholarship page. Those are also good websites to look at as well. Our forms page also has a lot of links on it too. If you're just looking for a quick, hey, I want to find to get onto make the senior profile, boom, that's on here. You can find that on here very easily. And it's also on our senior page too. I've got it in multiple places as well. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Tabron, and she is going to talk about yearbooks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Tabron, and I am the yearbook advisor here at Leesville Road High School. And my email address is atabron@wcpss.net. I think that's it for this slide. So senior portraits are the biggest thing that I want to talk about. Each senior will need to either do one of the following: schedule their session at Life Touch Studio, and you can do that by going to prestigeportraits.com/Raleigh. Those all need to be booked by October 31st to be included in a yearbook, and those sessions start at $25. In addition to the formal yearbook pose, you can get tons of different other options and outfit choices. So if you want the full experience, that's the best way to go, is to book an appointment at their studio. If you would just like for the formal yearbook pose to be taken for your student, then we will have those portraits on September 23rd. That sign-up link will be coming out pretty soon, and you will need to bring $15 to that session to attend. But your senior needs to do one of the two things, and if they do the one at Prestigious Studios, it has to be completed by October 31st so it can be included in our yearbook. And we also are selling senior ads, and they will go live next week. You can do ads with personal messages, childhood photos, and recent pictures. All your ads will be in full color, and they have to be placed by November 1st. A full page ad is $375. A half page ad is $225. A fourth page is $175, and 1/8 of a page is $125. If you go to the bit.ly/LRHS yearbook, you will see all the information to purchase an ad in your yearbook. Right now, yearbooks are the lowest price they'll ever be for the back to school options. They're $85 right now. In addition to like personal ads for your students, you can do a group ad for teams if you're in a youth group, a scout troop, and more. If you have students who are friends and you want to feature them together on a page, two parents can go in on a full page ad. We actually run this through Jostyn's service now, so you'll upload all your stuff there, so no need to bring in physical copies of photos. If you don't like the offerings with the ad services, you can design your own ad and upload it there. And if you have any questions about that, please email me. And finally, if you click on the link, if you want pertinent information emailed to you personally, there's a link for you to sign up to get some emails from me and my yearbook staff. So let me know if you have any questions, and we look forward to featuring your student in the yearbook this year.
Thank you, Ms. Tabron. We appreciate you being here with us tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sarah Oxendine, counselor for students with last names SM through Z. I'm also wearing another hat this year and am part of the newly minted graduation committee. So we're going to figure everything out, as I'm sure you all know if you had older students. Ms. Dinkenor was the longtime graduation coordinator, so we've got some big shoes to fill, but we're going to do our best. So to reiterate, Mr. Solomon opened the program highlighting our two dates, the mid-year graduation, which is Tuesday, January the 18th at 6, the tentative time, and then the traditional graduation in June on Monday, June the 13th. I do just want to point out that if your student is a mid-year grad, their choice for a graduation ceremony is the January graduation. So, and then another very important thing, and this was one of the positive things that came out of COVID last year, was an electronic name verification form. It is linked down here at the bottom, and I think Dr. Huber might open it up for us. It's a Google form. This is where your student very carefully will type in their legal name. It's spelled out very clearly, because this is how we will know what to put on their diploma. There is also one question on this Google form that will allow them to upload an audio file sharing with us the correct pronunciation of his or her name. So that came in very handy last year to our administrators who were pronouncing names at graduation. So here's what the form looks like. Dr. Huber has it up for us. So you see it's very specific, breaking the name down into all the parts. Do you have a suffix? All the things so that we can get that correct on the very important document that you've been working towards for 13 years or so. All right, thank you, Dr. Huber, and we can move on to my next slide, and that's cap and gown information. I know it seems a ways away, but we can definitely go ahead and get these ordered. Jostens that Ms. Tabron mentioned, they are our sole provider for our graduation gear, and you definitely must order your cap and gown through them, because you don't want to have a different shade of blue or whatever the case may be. Another thing that emerged last year with COVID was most of the ordering going online. And I've been talking to our rep there, and he said they were really nervous at the beginning of that, but it actually turned out that at various points throughout the ordering process, we were doing even better than we did in years past in terms of collecting orders from the majority of our senior student body. So that's great. So in keeping with that, we will again offer the online ordering. I did want to point out the third bullet here on this slide. There's what we're terming the basics package. This is what is required for you to purchase for yourself or for your student. That includes the cap, gown, tassel, custom stole, diploma cover, and the LRHS senior fee. The cost of this is $78. So that's the basics package. That's what you have to get. And when you go on the Jostens site, you'll see all sorts of things that you can purchase to commemorate this event. Hoodies, keychains, water bottles, everything you can think of. That fourth bullet on this slide, the Pride package, we just highlighted that as one of the popular options that some of our students tend to buy. That's one thing you could do. But again, the basics package is what you have to buy. To place your order, you will put down a $60 deposit, or you may pay in full. If you put down the deposit, Jostens has an internal system. It's called JPay, and it will break up your remaining balance into 3 monthly auto-drafted payments. So it's all set up right there for you. The last bullet on this slide, we've deemed the I already have a gown package. That's perhaps you have a sibling or a neighbor who has recently graduated from Leesville and you want to borrow their gown. Now, of course, you need to make sure that the height is appropriate. But if you just want to get the rest of the package minus the gown, you will have to actually call Jostens to do that because the website won't let you handpick and eliminate the gown from that package. And that would be $63. Okay. Dr. Huber, if you'll move to the next slide. So like I said, most of the ordering will probably take place online. I think we've all gotten really familiar with doing things in that format. However, should your student need some assistance or want to do it the old school way with a paper order form, Jostens will be here on campus on October the 20th during both lunches. They'll be set up in the main lobby if you want to have a one-on-one conversation. And prior to that, they will drop off for us some of the packets of envelopes. Not one for everybody because not everyone will need them, but we'll have those in the main office if you would prefer that your student come by and pick up one of those. But again, on October the 20th, Jostens will be on site during lunches to answer any questions. This QR code that you see down in the bottom left-hand corner, if you hold your phone up to that, it will take you to the Leesville landing page on the Jostens website, and that can get you going on ordering your cap and gown and whatever you may need. You also see there across the bottom of the slide, Jubal Stagner. He is a longtime rep for Jostens, working with Wake County. So you see his email address and their office phone number. They're super helpful folks, and I know will answer any questions you may have. Okay, Dr. Huber, we can move on. The other piece of graduation regalia is the honor stoles, societies, and the cords for those students who earn places in those societies. For our June graduates, the GPA at the end of your first semester is what's going to determine if you earn the honor stole and which one. There's 3 levels of the Latin honor system: Summa, Magna, and Cum Laude. I did want to point out, for senior functions at Leesville, we will only recognize the honors cords of the 15 nationally recognized societies that are listed here. You see NHS, English, Social Studies, Science, Math, Music, Art, Dance, ITS, Journalism, Sports Med, Technical, French, Spanish, and Latin. Those honor societies will provide cords, provided that the students meet those requirements, to be worn at Leesville functions. You may very well throughout this year receive mailings for various honor societies, recognitions, all sorts of things. They might send you, medals or cords or stoles. You will not be allowed to wear any of those at Leesville functions. You're welcome to wear them in your personal pictures, of course, but just please note that just those 15 societies will be permitted to be represented at our Leesville functions. Okay, I think I'm done, and I'm going to turn it over to my partner on the graduation committee, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Ms. Oxendine. And I'm just going to talk with you a little bit about some information that the PTSA has asked us to share. The PTSA is looking for some parents to be and lead the Class of 22 PTSA committee. Junior parents can also help, and they need this group to plan activities, senior events, t-shirt sales, other things to celebrate the seniors. So if you'd be interested in being part of this PTSA Class of 22 committee, the website is down there below the email address that you can send your interest into this group, and I know they would appreciate your help. Ms. Dickinson is our PTSA president. She does a great job with things, and I know that she would really appreciate any help that any senior parents could give to this committee. Okay, Dr. Huber. So one thing they're offering again this year, I think these are really cool, are the senior class yard signs. You see them throughout the neighborhoods. And you can purchase one, a generic one, or one with your student's name on it. You can see the pricing there and how to order those. And again, the link that says here, we know that's not accessible through the live stream, but it will be accessible when we post this as a regular PowerPoint presentation on our website. And of course, you can always find this under the PTSA section of our Leesville website. So those are some things that the PTSA wants to help with as far as graduation, and some neat things that you can buy for your student and show how proud you are of them of graduating from Leesville Pride. Okay. So if you have any questions about graduation, we have set up a graduation email. Ms. Oxendine and I and some other staff here will be looking at this email on a regular basis to answer questions you have about graduation, anything we've covered tonight, anything that's covered in the future, or anything we've not covered. If you have a question about just the graduation process, cap and gown information, dates, etc., just please send us an email to that email address and we will get back to you. because there still is a lot of information that we'll be sending out over the course of the school year. So we know there will be other questions coming up. We also have a Twitter account. If you're a Twitter person, we've set that up for the class of 22. The Twitter handle for the class of 22 is at LRHS22. We'll be posting things on there on a regular basis as well. Just updates and information we feel like seniors and senior parents need to know. And it's just another way for us to reach y'all about graduation issues as we get closer and closer to the mid-year graduation and to the June graduation. So just keep that in mind. We're available to answer questions about graduation through that email address and through the Twitter. So I did want to, for the people that joined us late, this presentation is being recorded and will be posted on our school's website either today or definitely by Monday, so that you can access it. And if you have friends who said they weren't able to join the live stream, and I think a few people had some trouble joining the live stream, I'm not sure what happened with that, but if you've heard from some of your friends or they're not able to join, just let them know that it will be posted and they'll be able to see everything we talked about tonight as it's posted on our website. But we do appreciate your time. We know we have covered a lot of information, but again, as I started the presentation, we are excited. This is an exciting time of the year. We're excited to be back and working with the seniors in person, and we will do everything we can to help them reach the goals that they have for themselves, whether it's military, college, work, whatever. We are here to assist them in any way we can. We've got a great team. Leesville is a great school, and we look forward to working with you and your student this year. And again, thank you for taking the time to be a part of the presentation and see the presentation this evening. Thank you and good night.